Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions Season 2! Oh god, it has been a while since we actually talked about, since we went a little lighthearted on this podcast. I don't think we really have, been talking about lighter topics in here, so I thought, well, why not? I mean, just to deviate from all the chaos of, with my best friend and the faces and the goddamn internship, and now the Jordan Sam and our documentary. Yeah, we have quite a lot on our plate today, and especially this semester, so. Oh, and with a pending graduation too, I don't know if we would. Like, I'm kind of glad that I'm alone. Because I get to work on things and I mean, I could take it at my own pace, so there's that. But I am not really here to talk about that. Because the reason why I wanted to do this is just so we could really like clear our minds off of that chaos and talk about something that's, a little lighter to say the least. So we are going to talk about all the times so far that I have ended up on the news, and these are the stories that I have mostly gathered during my internship. So yeah, these are mostly stories from back in August to September. So actually we'll predate that to, I think, around March of 2022. I don't remember, but like it was during the campaign. Like there was I used to actually be a volunteer for a local movement, like grassroots movement for K-pop stans. I mean, if you know me from Twitter, or if you know me from posting on it on Facebook or Instagram, yeah, I used to be a part of that, and especially during the campaign, I was really active, so I believe that was the first time I ended up on the news. Although it was just a cameo, it was just the trailer of us dancing. Because, I mean, we were the first ever group to organize a random play dance. And if you don't know what a random play dance is, basically in K-pop, we have so many songs releasing like every single year. So we just dance to like choruses of the song, and then it goes to the next one. And if you know the song, if you know how to dance to it, you dance to it. You dance to it, and you play, and the next song plays, and then if you know it, you dance to it again. And yeah, that was like my first foray and my first cameo in the news. I was the first to mix everything on this very PC station that I am currently sitting and doing my podcast about right now. So the second one is actually really memorable. So I wanted to tell you about this, and this was like the one of the highlights, but not really like the highlight of my internship. But there was a time that I was at the dorm, in my dorm, and I was watching the news, and I was looking through Twitter and like all of my social media to like know if one of the most, arguably the most famous like local anchors, like news anchors in the country, passed away. So I waited for like the broadcast to, like air it out, I guess. Like I was waiting for the announcement, and it was real. And I resolved in my bed at the dorm to like go there. I'm I'm at I'm in the I'm at like I'm like in the same city as the one who died. So yeah. Um Before I actually went home here, I decided to stop by. So I remember it being like an arguably tough ride. I I went from the train, rode a train, and then rode like a couple jeepneys going there. There was a lot of jeepneys, and it was a damn big city. It's not like here where you can, it's just a single jeepney ride. I had to like do 2 jeepney rides, a train ride, and then like a walk. Like a long, long walk with a laptop on my shoulder and my things. And it was crazy. Like, I kid you not. I was wearing heels the whole time. And I was wearing the jumpsuit that I wore from like a few days before, that I bought a few days before. So I could change because it was raining so hard. And then back to the wake. So yeah, I pretty much walked with heels on, laptop at hand, and then my things to like the wake. Because I resolved to myself I was gonna go there. And I mean, call me reckless, I do not care. But I mean, it was hard, but being there and just like seeing a lot of flowers, like a lot of flowers from the wake to like the other side of the area, like the church, because it was a church, and then right beside it was like some kind of funeral, like a holding place or something. I don't remember what it's called, but there was a lot of flowers. Like, there were a big row of flowers here, and there were a big row of flowers there. And then we were, and it was a public viewing, and it was also the last day of the wake. So I went inside and just was absolutely gobsmacked at how fascinating this whole thing is. I mean, there were just a few people, but wow, it was just so fascinating. Like, just imagining like all the best anchors of the country like being there, and like you imagine them sitting just chatting and all this stuff. Like, yeah, they're normal people. We just see them on the news all the time. And I am a big, big, big news junkie. Like, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I mean, people know me more for my music. But I'm also kind of known to be a huge news junkie. And I mean, not like the news junkie, like I consume news every day. I technically still do, but I am more obsessed with the production and the anchors and everything in between. So yeah, you can imagine, like, I was a child there. It was still sad. Like, I wore black. The jumpsuit was black. And it was also my first ever jumpsuit in my life. So, and then there were cameras, and there was like, I think like a kind of truck, and I took a selfie there, and like took a couple snaps of like people being interviewed. Like, it was just a short time there. I just kind of like gazed at the casket and thinking like, wow, I was kind of expecting to meet him not here though. Cause I mean, I grew up with him. Like, I was a one-liner, yeah. I pretty much grew up with the man, so yeah, you could imagine like how much of an influence he has had. Though not as big, but still significant enough to warrant my visit there. So I was talking with my best friend and he was like, oh, I can't believe he's gone. And we were talking about it on the way there. And it was crazy because it was a Saturday. It was rain and it was cloudy, like awfully cloudy. And then yeah, I went to, if I remember correctly, I went to rest for a bit. Like there was like a lounge just outside. So I decided to rest. Cause I mean my things were heavy. And I was still on the ride home. I just stopped by there. Right? Like I just stopped by. And I was actually on my way home from the dorm to here. And it takes a little longer than it usually does. Like, I was here by the time that my interview aired. So it was around 6 or 5. I think a little earlier. I think I was around 4 p.m. But anyway, so here's the catch. So my things were there, like on the back. I see like a guy that is wearing like a long sleeve shirt that's like rolled up. And then like he introduces himself as Jonathan Andal of GMA News. I mean, of course, GMA was there. I mean, it's one of their own, right? But this guy, I mean, I haven't watched news in a while, so I don't really know about it much, but we were like making small talk, asking me where I'm studying and where I'm currently doing my internship. So I told him about my internship place, and then he told me he's from the same province as I am. Yeah. He told me he's the same province as I am, but studied at my father's university, like where my dad took his master's, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there's that. And then we kind of make small talk, and then he goes to like interview some other guys, and then I don't know. I was just like watching them interview, and then suddenly, this is funny. This is really funny. And then suddenly he was asking me like, would you want to like go be interviewed? I'm like, okay. Okay, and then and then the next thing I knew, there was like a camera. I mean, there was a tripod, but there's like suddenly a camera, and then the mic. Like I will just use this mic as an example, but it was suddenly like this. Like it was just like below my neck, and I blabber for like a good 5 minutes. And then he says thank you, and I take some more rest because, you know, the ride's gonna be really long. And then I just like kind of Ubered my way out there. I told him like, take care, bye bye, see you next time. And then yeah. And then I went home, and then I turn on the news and I turned on the news in my room, and I was so nervous, and I was like, oh my god. I'm actually on the news. How the hell did I end up here? It was like a 15-second soundbite, but I ended up on the news. It was crazy. And then people were like flocking my my mom's inbox, also mine. Like, I got a couple of messages saying that, oh, was that you on the news? I was like, yeah. And I didn't really know what to say. It was crazy. Like, it's not that I remember it. I mean, I remember everything, but it was crazy. Like, why? I mean, because I was like a student still, and I was just there for the internship and whatnot. But it was crazy. Like, how the hell did I end up on the news? I don't know. Like, I guess I'm a student. Like, a journalism student to be exact. And I was like, oh, we got a some kind of representation for all the students out there, and I was that. You know? I was that person to them. And so, a funny thing about that interview was my department chair messaged me right after it aired, and it said, really? Like, I could just feel the smirk and like the doubt on her face, like, really? And I told her, yeah. I told her, yeah, that's me. And like, oh god, your blush is really, really bright. And I'm like, oh yeah. That was my lip tint though. That was the lip tint that I used. I mean, it's a lip and cheek tint, so that's why I was really flushed out. I looked like I was flushed out because I had a lot of I applied a lot of the cheek tint, so there's that. And then the funny thing is that the following week, there was like a story about the first ever Filipino professor in Harvard, and she was from our university. Fun fact, she actually used to be my registration advisor for a short time when my thesis advisor / registration advisor was on leave. So she took over and became our advisor for a short while, and then yeah, she ironically ended up on the news. And I told her, like, well, girl, it's payback time. It's payback time. How'd you feel about this? I was joking around. I mean, of course it was a joke. I kind of took a jab at her for the tease about me being in the news, and then she ends up on the news as well. So that's the story. And another thing is that a few weeks later, when we were covering, or rather, like, producing the live stream for, you know, Philippine stuff, martial law anniversary, he was there. Like, the one who interviewed me, Kuya Jonathan, was there. And I was wearing the same jumpsuit. But I was wearing flats. But I was wearing the same jumpsuit. And he recognized me, like, hi, it's you again. And I'm like, did you watch the report? I'm like, yeah. It was embarrassing, but hey. I ended up on the news, guys, so yeah. And it was really hectic, but yeah, we did take like a few quick selfies. I just cannot believe we like bumped into each other at that rally, and then like his camera was fine. Like I'm kidding you not. Like his camera guy was really kind, cause it was raining that time, and I brought out my umbrella so that my co-intern and I could, like, you know, protect the camera and not like give it water damage. And he's like arguably taller than the two of us are, so he holds the umbrella right above us, and good thing. Because I was like bad. I was also batting the camera that time, so it was really fun. Another thing is that, yeah, I ended up on the news again, and this is like, I think my fourth, or I think my third. So this was during my final interview with my internship. So, you know, at the internship site, we usually do an exit interview, and like we fulfill some requirements. But before that, there was a protest that my internship coordinator asked me to go to, so she he asked me to go there, meet the rest of the guys there, and then I was holding a protest sign, and and then like I was like going to email one of like an acquaintance that I knew about, you know, validation of my thesis, and then he DMs me this screenshot of me in the protest, and like, oh no. I ended up on the news again. How? I ended up on the news again, guys. Like, it's my third time. I mean, it's fun, like, ending up on the news, but like getting interviewed, I mean, I can blabber a lot of stuff, but sometimes we got to take a step back and, yeah, think about things. Think about how we ended up here. I ended up there because I needed to do my exit interview, but before that, he wanted me to go to that protest, and yeah, we ended up in the protest. I ended up in the protest, and I was about to leave the damn internship site. So I don't know. Makes me nervous. How would I end up on the news for like the fourth time? We don't know yet, cause we never know. I don't know what I will do anymore. It's just so embarrassing. Like, I keep telling people, yeah, that's me on the news. I guess, like, it's us on the news. How did we end up here? I don't know. Like, it's really just a lot of coincidence and fate, I guess. And some damn reckless decisions. I make a lot of those, so can't really do anything about that. I've always been a rule breaker. And I don't know if we got a lesson from here. Just that, please don't be like me. Please don't be like me. I beg you. I beg you. I'm down on my knees. Please don't be like me. Don't do reckless stuff. Like, don't do what I did that time that got me on the news, please. It was embarrassing, but it was also fun, like, being interviewed. But I wondered, what's it like on the other side of the story? Like, you're the one interviewing, Well, it was fun, like the experience of being interviewed by someone that is an actual reporter, and you know you're a huge news junkie, and this happens, and it's crazy. I kind of like to think myself as the person that ended up on the news, the student that ended up on the news. That's me, girl. That's me. And yeah, um, I I think that would be it for today's Midori's Midnight Sessions. And oh god, at least we get to do a lighthearted episode, and it feels so like light to do stuff like this, cause when you compare this episode to like the past ones, they were really heavy. Like it tackles a lot of heavy stuff, like you know, losing a friend and the ditching, how to move forward from it. I thought like doing an episode like this once in a while will really make a difference. That you know, we just don't talk about heavy stuff here, we also do light stuff, and we make it fun, we make it bearable for everyone. And I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.